is comfortable for you. I like to use the block and sit on the block. You can also use a pillow. Just stick it under your backside and just close your eyes, and we'll just arrive at class. Resting our hands on our knees. You can do them palm up or palm down. I'm going to go and do palm down. And just relax those shoulders down. And then slowing the breath, just easing on into it. And from here, we'll take one deep breath in and we'll sigh it out. Deep breath through the nose. That helps you ease on and ground yourself into the earth. Bring your awareness to your body. Forgetting about your day or your week, the last few weeks. Just bringing your mind right to yourself, right to the present. Letting go of everything around you. And if there's stray thoughts into your mind, it's okay. Acknowledge those thoughts. Just let them drift off into the air. Letting all your worries go with them. Not worrying about the future. What's going to happen next, or tomorrow, or the next week or month. And we'll go ahead and take another deep breath in through our nose, sigh out through our mouth. And from here, we're just going to get a little bit of stretch in the neck. We're going to drop our chin down to our chest. And just get a little bit of a stretch in the back of the neck, maybe along the spine. We're still relaxing with our eyes closed. Feet still feeling the earth beneath our sit bones. We're just getting another stretch in now. We're going to start to roll that chin back and forth on the chest, just very slightly, just getting a little bit of a pull on both sides of the neck. Back and forth. Loosening up the muscles, the back of the neck on both sides of the neck as we tick-tock back and forth. And then we're going to slowly slow down. Bring that chin back to a stationary position, right back in the center. Easing it on the chest. We're going to roll our shoulders up, bring the head, chin back up, back into our gazing forward position, regular Sukhasana. And we're just going to go ahead and look over to the right side. Just getting a turn of the neck, looking over the right. You can open your eyes or keep them closed, whatever you feel more comfortable with. And we'll go ahead and release that gaze out over to the left side. and bring it back into our neutral center. I'm going to pull my block out, come back still, and then I'm just going to roll the shoulders up to the ears and hold them right there. Just pushing up. Bring the shoulders like you're shrugging up to your ears. I don't know. And exhale them down, straight down. And push them straight down. Really stretching them out. And shrugging them back up. And you want to extend that spine with those shoulders just reaching on up. Keeping your hands on your knees though. Just shrugging the shoulders and relaxing down. And full intention pushing them down. You can feel like somebody's pushing them down. Shrugging up. And back down one more time. And coming back to neutral. And then we're just going to roll them out a little bit. Just roll them out how you feel. Just you don't have to do them any way. You can roll one, roll the other one, just to get them loose again. And then we're fine. We're going to bring our hands down to the side. We're going to breathe our hands up. So we're going to inhale our hands straight up in the air. On the inhale, inhale up. And we're going to hold it here. We're going to elongate that back and really stretch out, extending all the way up towards the ceiling, gazing up at those fingers, feeling that stretch in the spine. Breathing in and out of the nose. And we're going to do a spinal twist. We're just going to take that right hand behind us. The left hand goes to the right knee. And we'll gaze out behind us, behind that, towards that right shoulder. Keeping that spine nice and straight. You want to come on the fingertips. Get a nice spinal twist. We want to hold this for a few breaths. We're almost there. Feeling that stretch. And then we'll go ahead and twist on out of that, reaching our arms up towards the ceiling again, and reaching up and gazing and really elongating that spine. Feeling the energy from the fingertips all the way down to the sit bones. And we'll inhale one more time, and exhale to that opposite side twist. Left hand behind, right hand to the left knee. Keeping the spine nice and straight. And we'll exhale and breathe those hands up on the inhale, back to the top. And while we're here, we're going to take that right hand, grab the left wrist, pulling it over to the right side. Nice stretch along the rib cage of the left side. If you like, you can gaze up towards the ceiling. But if you don't like that, you can just go ahead and neutral your gaze forward. And we'll inhale those hands back up towards the ceiling. And take the left hand, pulling the right wrist to the left side on the exhale. Again, you can gaze up towards the ceiling or bring your head to neutral, just gazing forward. And we'll come back up towards the ceiling. If you're watching class, I saw my friend run by. And we're going to exhale, folding forward, reaching out as far as we can, hinging at the hips. And really breathing in, taking a deep inhale in and exhale, just to get a little bit closer to that forward fold. And if Sukhasana is too much for you, you can kick those legs out a little bit if you'd like, or you can bring them all the way out like a regular forward fold with the legs out. You'll get a different stretch that way. We're working on the hips with this one, with the Sukhasana, with the crisscross applesauce. But we've been sitting here pretty long. You might get some people tired of sitting like that. And we'll take a deep breath in and exhale one more time, trying to get that head a little bit closer to the earth. And we'll go ahead and spider walk those fingers back, rolling the shoulders up to the ear, easing that pressure on the back, bringing our hands back to our knees. And we're going to go ahead and switch out the legs from the Sukhasana. And we'll breathe our hands up. And exhale, forward fold. And feeling the stretch as you're gazing down at the earth, really reaching far. Taking that deep breath in and letting it out the mouth to get a little bit closer to that forward fold. And we'll go ahead and walk those fingers up, rolling the shoulders, bring our hands back to our knees, and taking a big exhale. And we'll go ahead and take that right arm out in front of us, bringing it across the body, wrapping the left arm around that elbow, stretching that shoulder. And if you like, you can gaze the opposite way over that shoulder that's being pulled over the right side. And we'll exhale, release. Rolling out the shoulders a little bit, taking the left arm out in front of us, bringing it across the body, rounding that right arm over that elbow. Again, you can gaze forward. If you like a little extra, you can gaze over that shoulder. And exhale, releasing that. We're going to kick our right leg out, leaving that left leg in. And we're going to turn our torso towards that right leg. And we're just going to hinge right at our hips, reaching out as far as we can towards the ankle, the toe, the shin, the knee, however far you can reach. Everybody's different. And then we'll just exhale, rounding our back, bringing our head down towards the knee as close as we can. You should feel that stretch in the back of the hamstring, maybe in the back of the knee. If you have a super tight back or just a regular tight back in your back. And we'll go ahead and walk those hands up, rolling the shoulders, not letting the back do too much. We're going to turn the torso towards that bent leg. I'm going to slide the right hand down, the right arm, taking the left arm up overhead, reaching out. You turn sideways so you can kind of see what's going on. Reaching out with that left arm, you're trying to reach that right toe. I'm almost there. And then if you like, you can gaze up towards the ceiling. If that's too much, neutral that gaze, just gazing forward. Don't forget those exhales, taking that deep breath in through the nose, just exhaling through the mouth, nice and slow. Helps you get a little bit deeper in these poses. And we'll go ahead and breathe in. Breathing that arm up, placing it on the ground, pushing up toward the knee, up on the knee, reaching the right arm up over the ear, placing that foot down on the ground, extending it nice and long and straight, pointing that toe forward. And if you like, gaze up towards the ceiling. Really elongating, feeling the energy flow from the fingers down to the heel. And then we'll exhale down to the ground, sweeping an arm around, hands switching legs, bringing the right leg in, left leg out. First, return the torso towards the outstretched leg and rolling down, reaching out as far as we can towards the foot. You know, the ankle, shin. When we get to where we can reach, we'll go ahead and exhale that head down towards the knee. Don't forget that breath in through the nose and slight exhale through the mouth, just to get into the pose a little bit more. And then we'll gently walk those fingers back, rolling the shoulders, turning our torso towards the bent knee, bringing the left arm down the left leg, bringing that right arm up overhead, over our ear. And trying to reach that left toe. Again, you can neutral that pose. So that gaze or gaze up towards the ceiling. The longer you hold these poses, the deeper you can get into them, the more stretch you feel. And then we'll come on up and bring that hand down to the mat, pushing up to our knee. Keep that leg nice and straight, bringing the left arm up over our ear and stretching out, really full intention. And bringing that backside down, sweeping that arm around. We'll come right back into our Sukhasana sitting. And then we're going to roll on up. I'm going to turn sideways. We're going to roll on up to our knees into our tabletop. So here we are on tabletop. Our fingers are nice and wide. Our wrists are directly under the shoulders. And you should be about the width of your mat, maybe just a little inside. Knees are hip width apart. Just depends on how big you are. If you have to pull up your pants, you should do that. That's what I'm doing. So from here, we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow while we're in our tabletop. So to do a cow, we drop our torso down and our head comes up, and that's an inhale breath. And a cat, torso comes up like a scared Halloween cat, head comes down, and we exhale. Inhale, head up. Exhale, head down. And we'll go ahead and flow through this right at your pace, your breath. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And this is a gentle yoga, so you want to really expel that, all the air out before you move on to the next pose. Really get a full intention stretch, and then exhale to the next spot. And when all that air is out, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more time. And then we'll come right back to our neutral tabletop, making sure you're nice and balanced. All your weight's on the thumb and the pinky, not so much on the wrist, hurt your wrist. And then from here, we're going to do a nice puppy pose. So our knees stay right where they are. You just step your hands out just a little farther, and then you just bring your head down to the ground, keeping the torso up, resting the forehead on the ground. And you should be getting a nice stretch in the shoulders. And then we'll go ahead and walk those hands back. And we'll do a little arm work here. We're going to take the right arm into the center of the mat. I'll bring the left arm up, opening like a book, up towards the ceiling, just holding it there, gazing up towards the hand. And breathing. We'll hold this for about 3 to 5 breaths. And if it gets too much for you to gaze up the ceiling, again, go to a neutral spot where your neck and head feel nice and comfortable. And on our next exhale, we're going to swing that arm through all the way to the other side of the mat, but turn so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Bringing it, and then we're just going to drop on down to the shoulder, getting the stretch in the shoulder. Kind of like a little bit of a puppy pose, but you're bringing that arm through, threading the needle. I'll come up so you can see what's going on. And you'll bring that left ear down, and gaze over that way. And we'll go ahead and breathe on up back into our tabletop. We'll switch sides. That left arm comes in the center. Right arm goes up, opening like a book, really reaching back as far as you can. This is as far as I can, but if you can go further, go ahead. Gaze up. One more breath in, and then on that exhale, we'll exhale that arm through the other arm underneath, dropping down to the shoulder, bringing that temple down to the mat. And then we'll come on up, back into our tabletop. And then we're going to do some sun salutations from our knees. We're just going to walk our hands back to our knees, coming up to our knees, just like we were standing in Sukhasana, but we're on our knees. So right here, I don't know, you guys may want to watch, you may know this. I don't know. We're going to do about 3 modified sun salutations just to get our heart rate up so we can do all the harder stuff later. Kidding. So we'll go ahead and bring our hands to our heart center, just like in the sun salutation. And then we'll go ahead and breathe on up, breathing up. And exhaling down, reverse butterfly. And then we're going to bring our hands out all the way into a knee plank. So our knee plank. And then we're exhale, lowering with our knees down, inhaling into an up dog, pushing back on the exhale into a child's pose. Then we'll inhale up back to our knees for swan dive and exhaling the prayer. Hopefully you got that. That was the demonstration. Let's do the 3 now. So we'll go ahead and breathing in and up. Exhaling down, bringing those hands out in front of the mat. Knees, chest, chin lower on the exhale. Up dog. Pushing back into child's pose. Inhaling, reverse swan dive up. And exhaling down the heart center. Breathing in and up. Swan dive down, forward to the mat. Knees, chest, chin on the exhale. Rising up to up dog, rolling the shoulders and pushing back into our child's pose. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. Let's do this one nice and slow with full intention, all breath. You guys should know it's, I don't have to say anything. So breathing in and up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Reverse swan dive. And exhale down. Down into prayer. That was good. Now we're going to go ahead, do it one more time, I lied. So we're going to go ahead and breathe in and up. And we're just going to meet right back at a tabletop. We're just going to swing down and bring our hands down and just come into a tabletop. I'm going to do a little bit of a spinal twist because I like spinal twists. It's one of my favorite gentle poses. And we're all warmed up now. So let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to take that right arm out first, reaching far. We got to get some kind of balance in, right? So we're balancing, really reaching out far. Everything's down on the ground. Everything is nice and parallel to the earth. And we'll exhale that hand back down. We'll reach out the left arm. And bring that arm back down. So now we're going to take the right leg out, reaching far, keeping it parallel to the earth. Pointing those toes down if you can. Reaching that heel out, stretching that calf. And exhaling down. And switching legs. And bringing that knee down. So now we're back into our tabletop. I'm going to switch it off a little bit. We're going to take that right arm into the center. We're going to place that knee on the ground. I'm going to just turn over to our left side, keeping that knee on the ground as best you can. I'm a little cramp here. And we're just going to bring that hand up towards the ceiling. So this is a side plank, a little bit of a modified side plank, but you got that knee down. You really want to feel the strength in that shoulder. You don't want to put too much emphasis in that knee. Everything needs to be straight. Wrist, elbow, shoulder. And the other arm is in line as well. And then we'll come back down, bringing both knees back into tabletop. I'm going to switch sides so you can see me. We're going to take the left arm to the center. The left knee stays down. The right arm leg comes out, and you twist up, facing the right side. And you can gaze up to that hand if you like. My hand. Or back to this other one. And I'm doing it terribly. Straight line, Eric. Get a little bit of strength in the arm. And this foot here is down on the ground. And then we'll come back and we're going to complete our spinal balance while we're here. We're going to take that right arm out, the left leg back. Now we're spinal balance. Feeling the balance here. We're going to hold it. Let's hold it for 3 breaths here. And one more. Exhale that hand down and the knee. And we're going to switch it out. Left arm comes out. Right leg goes back. And don't forget to breathe. And exhaling back down into our tabletop. And we're going to go ahead and push into a child's pose. Pushing back into a child's pose. Sinking. We're going to make it a wide leg. Bringing those knees out to the side. Just sinking down in between those legs. Outstretching the arms. Bringing the head down to the mat. Breathe with it. And whenever you get into a class where you're like, oh, this is way too much, this is a good resting pose. Just a good place to go. You're still getting a stretch in the shoulders. You can also bring those hands behind your back and get that stretch in the back, bringing your forehead down to the ground. You get the stretch in the back of counter pose. And then we're going to go ahead and rise up out of that, back into our tabletop, and we'll slowly walk those hands back to the knees, coming back into our knee, standing on our knees like we're standing. It's cool. So we're going to just do a little bit of, we'll do a little bit of, I can't think of what's called, but we're going to do it. And we're just going to take our hands out in front of us. That's bow pose. And so we're just going to swim that right arm back just as far as we can. I'm going to touch my heel, but some people can touch their toe or just touch their calf, but you want to feel it in the back here. And then we'll bring the hand back up towards the front and exhaling the left arm back to the heel for me, and switching right arm back and forward. We're just doing this with breath, inhaling it back, exhaling forward. One more time, right hand back. One more time with the left. And we're right there. And we'll exhale our hands back down into tabletop and pushing back into, this time, hands behind the back, child pose to round the back out. Bringing the forehead down. And exhaling back into the tabletop. We're going to swing our legs around back into a seated pose, and we're going to come into our butterfly Uttanasana. And again, I like to put that block underneath me, a book or whatever you have, pillow. But you want to make sure the toes, pinky toes, are touching, not the big toes. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. Get a little dry throat. If you need a drink, go ahead. If not, just stay in that butterfly pose. So we're just going to hang out here for a second, really feeling the ground underneath us. We're going to take a deep breath in. And on our exhale, we're going to hinge at the hips, bringing our back nice and straight forward, keeping everything nice and aligned and straight. I'll turn to the sides. See a little bit. So we're feeling that stretch in the inner part of the body. Holding it here. One more breath. And on the exhale, just go ahead around the back, bring the feet down, head down to the feet. And relaxing. You just push that stretch more to the inner part of the thigh. And then we'll go ahead and roll on up, rolling the shoulders. First, not to put too much pressure on the back. You sat on the block or a pillow, move that out of the way. And now we're going to do this cool pose on the other day. We're going to take this right arm and we're going to bring it right behind our back, in between the shoulder blades if you can. Some of you are a little bit more flexible than me, so I know you can. If not, this is where I'm going, and you're just going to lay back on the ground in a reclined spot and just lay on that hand. And the other hand can do whatever you want. We're just going to hold this for several breaths. Let's do about 7. This is a nice stretch for that shoulder. Need some shoulder stretches. If this is too much for you, you can just do a regular stretch where you're bringing it. Now I'm going to come up, but if this is too much for you, you can do a stretch like where it's behind your back, maybe with a strap. We had a couple more breaths. And any time it gets way too intense for you on this 7-breath hold, please come out of it. This is more of a yin pose, but I really enjoy it. So to come out of that, you're going to roll off that arm over to the left side and just come on up, push back up into your seated pose. If you need to shake that arm out a little bit, you might have got a little bit of intense stretch. And then we'll go ahead and switch. Like I said, if that was too much for you, grab a strap and you can just pull. It's the same kind of stretch, but it's not going to be quite as intense. So take that left arm behind your back, knees on down to the mat. Again, it's between your shoulder blades. If you need to adjust it while you're down on the ground, that's fine. Again, this arm can go wherever you want. You want it in your belly, side. Just rest into it, breathe into it. Again, breathe with it. One more breath. And on that exhale, you can take that left knee up and kind of push your body to the side and rolling over to the right side. And we'll come back up into our seated pose again. We'll stretch. Just wiggle out that arm a little bit. And then we're just going to ease on back to the ground without putting our hands behind our back. And just ease on back, pointing those knees up towards the ceiling. The feet are flat on the ground. And from here, we're going to do reverse pigeon. We're going to take the right leg into the torso, bring it on around, relax that ankle on that knee. And we're going to thread our right hand in between our legs, grabbing the knee or the inner thigh, bringing the left arm to meet it, and pulling in to the torso for a reverse pigeon. And we'll hold this for several breaths. Probably a whole minute or so. Relaxing all the way back on the ground. And if you're having problems with getting into that pose, a good way to modify that is to come up towards a wall or something, and you could just take that left leg and place it on the wall and just cross the leg there. And you can get as close as you want. You can get a little closer. And then what you'll do is you'll push that opposite knee, the right knee with the right arm. You'll get a little bit of a different stretch, but still you're getting that hip stretched. I'm going back to the regular because I like it. And keep breathing in the next inhale. We'll go ahead and exhale that foot down to the mat. Taking the right leg off the knee, placing that foot next to the left, right back in. Both knees pointed up towards the ceiling. And now we're going to switch sides. The left knee comes into the torso, crosses over to the right knee, left ankle over right knee, left arm threads between the legs, grabbing the knee or inside the thigh, whichever is more comfortable, and pulling into the torso. Back in reverse pigeon. And you want to slow down your breath here. Just relax. And as that hip starts to open up a little bit more, you might be able to pull that knee a little bit closer into the torso or not. It's up to you. And then we'll go ahead and release those hands around the leg, bringing the foot down to the mat, taking that ankle off of the knee, and bringing that foot next to the other foot. And then we're going to go ahead and just take those knees and point them and bring them into the torso, and then we're going to roll them over to the left. Bringing the hip up off the ground, arms are in a T, making sure both shoulders are engaged to the earth. Again, you can gaze up towards the ceiling. If you like, you can gaze towards the opposite arm, the left arm, whichever way is opposite of which way your knees are pointing. If you need a little bit extra, you can bring that right arm down and push the left knee down a little bit to the earth, getting a little bit more stretch, twist. And then we'll go ahead and roll on back up, bringing those knees pointed up towards the ceiling again, feet flat on the ground, pulling the knees into the torso now, and bringing them over to the left side. One side might be a little tighter than the other. That's okay. Again, you can gaze up in a neutral or look over that outstretched arm. And then we'll go ahead and roll back up, knees pointed towards the ceiling. And we're just going to take the right leg, put our hands around the knee and pull it into the torso, keeping that left knee pointed up towards the ceiling for now. We're just pulling the right leg into the torso. And if you'd like a little extra, you can go ahead and take that left leg and straighten it up all the way down the mat. But if you don't like that, you can keep that knee pointed up towards the ceiling. It's fine. And then we're just going to open that leg up, the one that's bent, the knee, and we're opening it up like a book, just pulling it over to the side, to the right side. Again, knee up or leg straight, it's fine. And then we'll exhale, bringing that leg back into the center and bringing it all the way over to the other side, closing the book, keeping that shoulder engaged to the ground, hip comes up, just getting a little bit of a twist here. Should feel a stretch on the outside of the hip. And we're just doing a couple breaths, and then we'll just come back to the center, rolling back, pulling that knee in for 2 more breaths. And then bringing that foot down to the ground, pointing the knee up towards the ceiling. Then we'll bring the left knee in to the torso, just like the opposite side. We're just going to do the opposite side again. If you want that knee pointed up towards the ceiling, that's fine. If not, you can straighten that leg out along the mat, the right leg we're talking here. Still keeping that left knee into the torso. If you want to close your eyes now, you can. Or you can keep your eyes open. We'll go ahead and open up that left leg out towards the side, towards the left side. That arm's going to help pull it open. Should be feeling it in that inner thigh. And then we'll bring the knee up towards the ceiling. And I neglect to tell you this. If your knees were pointed up on this, you need to straighten it at this point. So straighten that leg and then pull that left leg over to the right side. Bringing the hip up, keeping the shoulder, the left shoulder down. The right arm helps that leg come over. And then we'll come on back, bringing that left knee back up. And we're going to go ahead and bring that left leg down to meet the right leg. Just relaxing here for a second, because we're going to pull those knees in one more time. So go ahead and bring those feet back, planted, knees up towards the ceiling, bringing those knees in. And then we'll round our back a little bit, and we'll just roll back and forth, getting a nice spinal stimulation. And you can roll around however you like. You can right to left to right. And then we'll come back and relax. Stationary, releasing those knees, bringing the legs down the mat, closing the eyes, bring the hands down beside your mat, relaxing the feet off to the side. Just bringing everything to a relaxation, closing the eyes, palms towards the ceiling, taking a deep breath in, letting it out. As we ease into Savasana, bringing our attention back to our breath. Taking nice, slow, deep inhales and exhales. Slowing everything down. Again, we'll go ahead, take a nice deep breath in through our nose, let it out through our mouth. You can go ahead and wiggle your toes, your fingers. Go ahead and roll to one side like you're waking up in the morning. Eventually rolling up into our seated pose. Bringing our hands back to our knees. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the mouth. Keeping the eyes closed. Relaxing the forehead, the chin, the hands and the feet, and everything. Taking a deep breath in and letting it out. We'll go ahead and bring our hands to heart center. And we'll end with one hold. AUM, sound of the universe. Breathing in. Smile. Namaste.